Hello soulmates, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to cut and sew this stylish corporate blouse with a Princess Dart Bustier. So I'll also be teaching you also how to go about this beading because I don't like beading. So the shortcut I use to achieve this beading. So if this is a tutorial you're interested in, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and without wasting much time, let's get right into the tutorial. So guys, this is the pattern I will be using. So this has my shoulder, my armhole, my bust, my under bust, my waist, and my hip. That hip is my blouse length, and please note that this blouse length must not be too long for the fitting to come out. So now at the bust area, I'll go down by 3/4 inches, then I will draw a line. So if you know how to draft a Princess Dart Bustier, so that's what we are trying to draft now. So after rolling the short line, my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, I'll measure it. So I'm working with a nipple to nipple measurement of 4. So of 8 rather. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So you mark from that short line down to the blouse length, that is the where I labeled hip. So after marking those points from the short line down to the hip line, which is the blouse length, so I'll go ahead and just connect all those points together with a straight line. Please use a straight line to connect the points. The line will actually be straight. So this is what we have. So the next thing I'll be doing is my underbust tightening. So for my underbust tightening, I used 1.5 at the side. Then at this other small part, I used 1/2 inch. So this may differ in your own case if you are not this busty, or if you want to increase it. But sometimes I use 1 at this side, 1/2 at the other side, or 1.5 at this side and 1/2 at the other side, depending on how busty the person is. I think I'm working with a bust of 40 inches thereabouts. So I'm working with a bust of, I think, 40 inches or 30 something, 38, very close to 40. That's why I'm using this measurement. So when I'm working with a bust of like 34, 36, I can do 1/2 and 1. That is, everything all together will be 1.5. But yeah, I did 1/2 and 1.5, so everything all together is about 2 inches. So after I'm done with that part, the next thing I will do is to connect this under bust to the short line, the new short line I just drew. So I will connect it like this using the curvy part, and for this other side I'll just connect it with a straight line. You can also use a curvy part for that side too. So the next thing is to connect this to connect our Princess Dart Bustier. So you connect it towards your armhole. So what I usually do is just to place my French cuff like this, make sure I'm capturing the under bust, then I'll make sure the line is also passing through the bust line, then to my armhole. So that's what I usually do. So some people divide their armhole into 2, but I just place my French cuff in such a way that I can get a perfect curve. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to do the tightening at this armhole side. So I'm not using too much. I think I'm using about 3/4 inches. I'm using about 3/4 inches here. So I will connect this up to the bust area, very close to the bust area, as you can see. So the dart is stopping very close to the bust line. So that's the armhole tightening that I'm doing. So now this other line that is inward here, this line here, so I will still extend it outside because I'll be adding some measurement to this line. But let's go ahead and just draw this curve. Let me use a marker to draw all this curve for you to see clearly. Sometimes marker add to the measurement. That's why most time I don't like to use marker, but because of the visibility, so that you can see it. So let me just use marker to draw this out. So I like to use my pencil at first, then I'll use the marker to just draw it out again. So this is the curve and this is what I have here. So like this line that I extended outward, I will still do something about it. So now for my bust, I'll divide my bust into 4. I think I'm using a bust of 40 inches. So 40 divided by 4, that's 10 inches. So at my waist area, I'll measure my waist divided by 4. My waist divided by 4, then with the dart I took out here, I will add it back. So I took out 2 inches here, and I will add my 2 inches back here. So at the hip area also, you measure your hip divided by 4. So I think I'm using hip of 44 inches, or I think it's 42. So you measure the hip, then whatsoever you took out there, you add it back. So that was what I did at that point. So now I'll connect them together now. So I'm connecting the bust to the waist, then I'm connecting the waist to the hip. So I'm using this curvy part to connect my waist. I don't want it to be a straight line, so I'm using this curvy part, just slightly curved, to connect the hip area. So now at this part here, from the initial armhole, I will just go upward by 1 inch. This is because if I don't add any 1 inch, when I join this back, it will be shorter. So is I just went up by 1 inch, then I'm reconnecting it to the armhole. As you can see, the initial armhole before, so that's the new armhole now. So I will just be doing it for this other part. So at this blouse length, I'm going upward by 1 inch. This is just to make a curve at the blouse, at this side here. I don't want it to be straight, so I'm curving it just on this other pattern, so it's not getting to this the center front. So now I want to make a side dart, so I'll be using 1 inch. This is because the back of my blouse is 1 inch longer, that is the half length is 1 inch longer. So I'm deducting that through the side, so I'll be cutting that part away, so that when I cut the back bodies, it will balance with the front bodies. So for the neckline, it is a very small neckline, so I'm using 3 by 3.5. I'm using 3 by 3.5. Oh, sorry, I used 3.5 by 3.5. I'm so sorry. So I'm using 3.5 by 3.5. Then I'll just connect it like this. Then for my shoulder slope, just 1 inch downward like that. So don't make the neckline to be too low and too wide. Make sure it is very small. You can even use 3 by 3, so that the neckline can be very small. So this is what I have. Then I'll go ahead and just cut this out. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. I forgot to tell you that this pattern is on fold. This is because of the hemline, that design at the hemline that we are going to do. So the pattern has to be on fold. So this is what we have. So for this side dart, I'll be transferring the dart here to the other side. You know this pattern is 2, so that's why I use the tracing wheel to just trace the dart. So now you open one side of this dart. I want to like tape it in, then you place this other side here. So you place it on each other to cover up the 1 inch dart that we took out. So I will use my tape to hold this pattern down, so that when I'm cutting, I just cut this as a hole. So I've taped this down, and I'll do the same thing too for this other one. So after I was done, this is what I have. So I'm done with the taping and all. So now it's time to draw this shape that we have at the hemline. So the shape will be towards one side, so you decide which side you want it to be. So I'm using this side here. So what I did was to measure 1.5 inward. So I was measuring 1.5 upward. Please just follow what I'm doing closely, because this was my first time of doing this design, so I just did it, like, just follow it so you can understand. So I did 1.5 too at this other side. I think I still adjusted this, so just keep watching so that you can get every details. So I'm rolling this line upward just like this. So that's the space, but I think I noticed the space was kind of too wide, so I'm using 1 inch instead of 1.5. So 1 inch, 1 inch on both sides. Then I'm rolling another line, so that initial line we draw out will not work, so it's this new line that will work. So now at this part here, I think I went up by 1.5. because this side was kind of shorter than this center front. So I went up by 2 inches rather. Then I'm reconnecting this side up to that point, so I'm reconnecting the line like this up to this point. So now I'm extending this other line to upward, just like this. Please just follow closely, you will understand, trust me, you will understand. So now it's time to draw this part here. So I'm blending this side. I don't want it to be sharp, so I want it to be like curved. So I'm blending it. Let me just use a marker to blend this for you to see. So I think I'm fine with this curve here. So now for this other one too, I will blend it in. As you can see, I just blend it in at this side. I just blend it in. So let me use a French curve to do that. So now placing this pattern together, make sure the waist is aligning. As you can see that line at the waist and the underbust, make sure it is aligning so that you can get this right. So I think I measured 3 inches upward, 3 inches upward. So make sure the pattern is aligning. So it's the same point that I will transfer to this other one too. So I'll transfer this point to the other one. Just keep watching and you will understand what I'm doing. So I'll be drawing a curve here. So this curve we cut across to this other pattern. As you can see what I did, so I just drew the curve like this. So the height of this curve from this point here, you know, we went up by 2 inches at the smaller pattern. Then from that 2 inches I went up by 3 inches to get this curve here. So that was what I did, and I feel this is perfect. So this was what I did for my curve. So let me use another marker, a deeper marker, to draw this out so that you can see it properly. So this is what I have here. So, and this is what the curve looks like here. Please note that if you check the line at the waist of both pattern, they are aligning, the waist and the underbust. So make sure when you are doing yours, it is aligning, and the end of the blouse too, as you can see that it is also straight. Yeah, so make sure you get that right. So I'm just adjusting this to get a perfect shape. I'm just adjusting it. So now I'll go ahead and just cut this out. So if you know that this is not perfect for you, you can still go ahead and make your adjustment, but for me this is perfect for me. So this is what it looks like. So this is what the blouse looks like. So the next thing I'll be doing will be at the shoulder area, because you know one side is open. So I'll be doing that later. Let's move to the back body. So this is my back bodies, and this is just a normal back bodies that has the zipper allowance there. So let me go ahead and just locate my darts. So at the zipper allowance area, you will notice that the waist area went inward. That is because I took out ½ inch there to prevent zip bulging. And if you check the waist area, you see that I added the ½ inch back, so just to prevent zip bulging. So this is my darts. So this is the darts that I'm just measuring here. So for the neckline of the front, sorry, the neckline of the back, so it is the 3.5 I use, 3.5 by 1.5 inches. So 3.5 inches wide by 1.5. So if you are using 3 inches wideness, you use 3 by 1.5. So this is my sleeve, and this is a basic sleeve. So for this sleeve, we'll be cutting one side open. You know, one side has a coat sleeve, so we'll be cutting one side open. But before we cut that side open, so I will quickly use this sleeve to cut one of the sleeve so that I can now reshape the sleeve pattern. I hope you get. So now for this cold shoulder at this center front, so I'm measuring 2 inches inward. So sorry, I measure 2 inches inward like this, as you can see, just 2 inches at the shoulder area. Then I'll blend it. I'll blend these 2 inches to this point here. So this point here, I'll blend it in. So when I measure the point is about 5 inches. So I just went up by ½ inch at that area. So the measurement here that I have is about 5 inches, but I'll be using 4 inch. So I'm going up by about 1 inch. Then I'll be connecting this point up to this point here. See what I did over there? So I'll be cutting this part away. So this is what I did. So now the next thing I will do is also to cut this part out. So the same 4 inches that I measured, that 4 inches, so I will note it on this point. So this is where the 4 inches is getting to. So when you measure, as you can see the way I measured it, so from this tip here, so that's where the 4 inches get to. Then for the opening here, depending on how wide you want it to be, so let me just connect. I think I just placed my French curve, then I just connected it. But let me measure what I did. I think I did 4 inch there too, so it's now like 4 by 4 inches. So this is what I'll be cutting away. So I won't be cutting it away now, because you know one side of the sleeve is closed up. So I'll first use this pattern to cut the sleeve before I now cut out this part. So now we've done this. So the next thing we'll be doing will be on the back pattern. You know the back pattern, so we have to cut out that part. So now I went ahead to cut out 2 sleeves. So I removed one, then placing this on this sleeve. So I'll place it like this. But what I'll be cutting, I will not be cutting on this line exactly. I'll be leaving ½ inch, because you know if I hem it so that it will get to this initial point. But if I use this line, when I hem it, it will be wider. So I left ½ inch there like that. So when I hem, it will be back to that original line. So that's the sleeve. So for the back pattern, sorry, this is the front pattern. So I've went ahead to cut out the fabric. So let me show you what it looks like. So this is the side that does not have that opening. So this is what I have. So I added ½ inch at the other side, then I just added 1½ for the side. So this is the other side that has the opening, and this is what it looks like. So I added ½ inch all round, and at the side I added just 1½ inch. So this pattern here, this center front, this is what it looks like. So let me place this pattern properly. So this is what I have. So I supposed to add like ½ inch at this part here, that's that called shoulder side, but I just added ¼ inch. So you should add ½ inch to that side too. Add ½ inch to that side too. You know you'll be sewing that part, you'll be closing that part up. So add ½ inch to that side. I added ¼ inch to that side, but add ½ inch. So this is the back. So we'll be cutting out the cold shoulder for the back too. So you locate where it will be. Please don't make mistake of cutting it on the wrong part. Make sure you are sure of the side it will be. So then I'll just place this pattern on it like this. So now let me place this pattern properly on it. So these small pieces that we cut out from the front, so I'm placing it on the back. Then I'll be using it to cut this. So I'll just be cutting this. So this is what we have here. So this is what we have. So the next thing now is to go ahead and start sewing. So this is the back. I've went ahead to cut my lining. I've also located my dart point. That's the shock you're seeing on the fabric. So I'll go ahead and turn this and I'll show you what it looks like. So for the front, I will join the fabric together, then I will join the lining also together. So if you want to add stay to your fabric, you can add stay to your fabric, stay or paper stay. You can add it to your fabric and to your lining. So I'll go ahead and just join this together. I'll join it together, then I'll be back. So after I was done with the joining, so this is what I have. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, this part here is like it's perfect. So this is the lining. Then I will use the lining to turn, like I'll just turn this at the right place. So I'll show you what it looks like. So at this part here, please notch so that when you are ironing, when you are turning and ironing, it can come out very perfect. So I'm just making little notches at this part here. So after ironing, this is what I have. So that part there is closed up. So the only opening we have now is at the shoulder, the armhole of the other side, the shoulder, and the shoulder. So now this back also is covered up. So the next thing I will do now is to join the side together. I'll join the side and I will join the shoulder. So for the sleeve, this is what I have. So this is the complete sleeve and this is the sleeve that has the cold shoulder. So I just use a bias tape to turn the edge. So I use the bias tape to turn the edge and this is what it looks like. So after joining the side of my blouse and the shoulder, this is what I have. So now I'll go ahead and fix the sleeve. So I'll fix the sleeve to this side. So I'll fix this one to this side, then I'll fix the full one to this other side here. So after fixing the sleeve, I went ahead to also weave every part that I need to weave. So this is what it looks like. Then the next thing I'll be adding now is my zipper. So I'll be adding my zipper to the back. Then after the zipper, we'll add the beads. So I'll be showing you how to add it. So I went ahead to fix the zipper. So let's just close the back. So let's close it up. So this is what the zipper looks like. So this is it, and the blouse is looking very beautiful. The blouse came out perfect, like very perfect. So this is what we have. So now for me, I did not use a bead. I bought the trimmies that looks like as if it was beaded. So I bought this trimming. So for me, I used about 4 yards of this trimmies. So I attached it to all this, the lower side, the neckline, the cold shoulder, and the tip of the sleeve, that is the wrist area. So I used about 4 yards of this. Then I also bought this rhinestone that I also attached to it. I will be showing you now. So for this one here, I just use my gum glue to attach this to the edge. So make sure you buy a trimmies that can bend. You know, there are some curves here, so that make sure you buy a trimming that can bend. Don't buy that all those trimmings that you can't bend them to form a shape, like to form the shape. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So this trimmings was perfect for me, so I bought it. Then I was able to even bend it around that curvy area at the blouse tip. So this is what I added. Then I added rhinestone also. So I'll be showing you that. So this is when I was adding the rhinestone. So I wanted to add more than this, but I was too lazy. So I just added few to this blouse As you can see, the curve that I'm talking about, how this trim is bent, like it's bent very well. So I added rhinestone to this. So you can add rhinestone all through the neckline, the sleeve and all, but I just added to the blouse, like the tip, this tip of this blouse here. And this is what the outcome looks like. I couldn't get a video on the client, but it came out perfect. Like the blouse was perfect, like perfect. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any question, please let me know in the comment section and I will respond to you as soon as I get them. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.